Good evening, you're with Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. I'm Madhudas Gopalakrishnan. The holiday is over. The run is finished. Luthra brothers have been dragged back to India from Thailand. They were arrested by the Goa police the minute they landed. At around 5:40 p.m., they were taken out of the Indira Gandhi International Airport in Delhi. They will soon be taken to the Patiala House Court, where Goa police will seek their transit remand. We at Times Now have promised you that this day would come. We tracked their escape. We have exposed how the Luthra brothers booked their tickets just 98 minutes after the deadly fire. We forced the spotlight on the story when others played catch-up. The brothers are now facing charges of culpable homicide and negligence. For the last 10 days, Times Now has been relentlessly leading the campaign for justice for the 25 families who lost their loved ones in the deadly nightclub inferno. Our coverage, forced impact and action. Times Now's team of reporters are tracking every update, keeping you ahead on every development. Now we have our reporters joining us. With us is Isha, who had gone to Thailand and was on board that particular aircraft as well, coming back from Bangkok to New Delhi. Bhavtor Singh is with us from the court. Priyank is with us and Arunil joins us live from Goa. I'm going to come to you one by one. And before I come across to all of you reporters, let's first show you how Times Now's Priyank confronted the Luthras on their arrival at New Delhi.
Brought here, Luthra brothers. Father, aren't you ashamed of yourself? You can see that the Luthra brothers have been brought here to the national capital. These are the crime branch officers who are taking them along with the Goa police. These are the two brothers who have been brought here, and they are right now being taken to the Patiala House Court.
All right, and in fact, let me quickly take this across to Priyank as well as Isha, Bhavtosh and Arunil. Isha, coming to you first. Take us through exactly who all were accompanying the Luthra brothers. They were brought aboard that aircraft where you were present. Isha, how many members of the Indian team were there? Were they officials of the CBI, of intelligence agencies? Take us through what exactly has transpired and how really they were able to bring back the Luthra brothers, Isha.
Madhav, Times Now was the first channel to report on this and force justice to the 25 victims of the tragedy. What happened actually yesterday was that the Luthra brothers were lodged in at the Bangkok detention center. We spoke to our sources in the immigration center as well as the embassy, and they told us that a team of 3 officials will be coming in from India to escort the Luthra brothers back to India. And the team that we saw on the ground on the aircraft as well did comprise of a RAW official, a CBI official as well. So this was an intelligence team as well, and there was a senior member of the Goa police as well in that 3-member team. In fact, then they were brought back to the national capital. We saw visuals. We saw Priyank try and pose a question as well. They have now been, after being taken for a medical, they will be taken to the Patiala House Court for a transit remand.
Right.
But there was another thing that came up, Madhav, is that when the media was trying to ask questions, they said that they weren't comfortable because they haven't done anything wrong and they've only been here for work. So no accountability, no apologies as of now, Madhav.
Right, stay with us, Isha. In fact, Priyank was there. And Priyank, what exactly are we going to see happening? I believe they're going to be seeking a transit remand and then Goa police will take them across to Goa. How soon do we expect to see them flying out to Goa? Tonight? Tomorrow morning?
Most probably tomorrow morning, Madhav, because there are no direct flights which are available from the national capital to Goa. And secondly, the accused have been taken to the IGI hospital, which is in Dwalka Sector 9. And considering the kind of traffic which we face every day, it's going to take 1 hour for them to reach the Dwalka Sector 9. And from there, after 20 minutes of the medical legal certificate process, then another 1 hour to reach to the concerned judges court. So this process will itself take 2.5 and 3 hours of time period, irrespective of the fact that there could be more delay in the court proceeding. So by late night around 10ish, we can expect that the remand application formality will be over, and then the team of officials will have to take the flight. So I think that the flight could be taken early in the morning. That's what we can sense. But as we have been reporting, every fact on the ground, we'll wait for the official confirmation, and that can only be ascertained once the transit remand formalities will be over.
All right, and Bhavtosh is with us. Bhavtosh, what are your sources telling you about what is the kind of action that we'll be seeing as far as the Goa police? Now, these are individuals who have not been part of the investigation, but their presence is so vital because from their interrogation, they can actually reveal the whole nexus. How were permissions given? What was the situation in which without NOCs, without fire clearance and several other clearances, their nightclubs were allowed to function? They were even demolished because after this deadly fire, it came to light that there were several permissions and several violations of permissions that existed in these nightclubs.
Madhav, what has happened so far is that central agencies have done the work. They have brought them back from Thailand, and no time has been wasted. What needs to be done is Goa police to investigate this case. They are the law enforcing agency. They are the prosecuting agencies as far as this case is concerned. Will they walk the talk? The documents that have been accessed by Times Now over a period of 10 days clearly show that they are more than the owners. In fact, the state government, state administration bent their back to in fact give them all the clearance, whether it is the excise department clearance, whether it's the fire license department or any other department. Despite repeated warnings that were given to them, demolitions had happened, demolitions were stopped. The question is, will the Goa police take action against any politician, against any bureaucrats, because they have only arrested, so far arrested the mid-level management people. They have not arrested anyone connected with the clearance that were given. In fact, there was a stay order that was given by the court concerning the panchayat member. The questioning is important because the manner in which this club virtually morphed into a very big joint, and why this joint was working for such a long time, one has to wait and see whether Goa police will be taking action against anyone.
All right, stay with us because we also have Arunil joining us, but Arunil is bringing us a big story. And on the Blueprint Explosive exclusive, viewers, we're going to tell you about the nexus that enabled the Birch brothers. We're going to show you this clincher document. In fact, I'm going to just quickly bring it up on the screen over here. And this is really how the trade license was pushed through for the Luthras. They applied for the license on the 14th of December 2023 and managed to get the approval just within 48 hours. That's on the 16th of December. The role of other panchayat members is also under probe, and sources have confirmed that officials were hand in glove with Luthras. This was not part of the process. This was patronage. And let's highlight that document yet again. Let's quickly show you. Of course, this is the date that is mentioned over there. On the 14th, they have applied for the permission as far as the license is concerned. And within just 48 hours, by the 16th, they actually get that permission. So who, either in the village panchayat or the administration, we don't know. But someone is clearly helping these individuals, and that has clearly led to this situation where their nightclubs were completely functioning without all the permissions in place. This is, of course, one license, but as you know, whether it's the fire clearance or other permissions that needed to be taken were not in order. Let's quickly take this across, in fact, to Arunil, who's joining us for more on this. Arunil, this is a massive story because they applied for the license on the 14th of December. They got the establishment license on the 16th. It's signed by the Sarpanch by the name of Rohan Redkar. What really is going on, and who is acting at this rocket speed, because this is not the speed at which governments normally function?
Well, Madhav, let us keep it very simple for our viewers. Let our viewers apply for a trade license in Goa. It is a tourist state. Everybody must be aspiring to own a pub or a restaurant or a bar in Goa. If they apply, will they get that trade license in 2 days? This is happening. This has happened. This has materialized for the Luthra brothers in 2 days, despite them not having the required permissions or NOCs for that matter as well. Very difficult. Like, Times Now is the only channel which has been on the trail of Luthra brothers in Thailand, be it in New Delhi, but we are digging deep in Goa as well. We are trying to find out the nexus that has been operating in Goa. How the politician, the political nexus, the local politician, the middlemen, as well as the businessmen who have been favored. Everybody is getting that favor, and we are trying to expose that. At present, I'm reporting from the local Anjuna police station as well. My video journalist Hemant is showing you these visuals. The Luthra brothers may be landing in Goa tonight or tomorrow, but we will try to find out the exact cause of this fire. Why a kind of a pub was operating at a land which was designated for a salt pan. It was an agricultural land. How a middleman got into the picture. How all the technicalities were flouted by Luthra brothers as well as the middleman who was in the picture. And later on as well, they were running this club, having a fire show over there without having a proper fire safety equipment in place. No fire exit also over there. We are going to ask them all the difficult questions.
Well,
not
absolutely.
Only them,
Permissions flouted, permissions given, of course, in rocket speed. What exactly is going on, and why was the due diligence not done by the state administration and those in government and allowing this place to function? We're going to certainly be asking all of those questions. Thanks so much to Bhavtosh, Isha, Priyank and Anil for getting us those ground updates. We'll, of course, be getting you the latest from the court as well, where in a few hours from now, he's expected, their brothers are expected to be presented before. But let's open this up and take it across to our guests. With us is Yatish Naik, spokesperson of the Goa BJP, Dr. Vikram Singh, former DGP of UP is with us. Syed Astabas, political analyst, joins us, as does Kapil Madal, advocate and political analyst. Let me start with you first. Mr. Naik, who's in such a tearing hurry? And how is it that the local panchayat has given a permission, a trade license within 48 hours? If the governments across the country worked at this speed, we would perhaps be the most efficient government in the world. Yatish Naik? Yatish Naik, can you hear me?
Yes, panchayats are part of this local self-governance mechanism. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Yatish Naik, we can hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead, sir.
But I must tell you, panchayats are part of local governance mechanism in Goa. Nonetheless, I may tell you that the secretary of the panchayat, as a matter of fact, I'm telling you that the panchayat secretary of that department also is under suspension.
There's a problem with the audio line. We'll try and fix that audio line. We'll try and reconnect with you because I think there's a very poor network line that you're on. But let me take this across to Mr. Vikram Singh. Mr. Vikram Singh, 2 days, a trade license permission is given. And your experience of the administration, and you've seen it from the very highest echelons, have you seen something like this?
Good evening, Madhavji and gentlemen. Never in my life have never had something as bizarre as this. Want to talk of 48 hours? If it happens in 48 days or 6 months, I think I would be the most fortunate person on the planet. But yes, these people bulldoze their way through, and the common sense way, but it is an absolute, the logical conclusion is that they bribed their way through and managed to get what was just not possible for a lesser bottle like all of us here sitting here, speaking for myself. But yes, when you have deep pockets, when you know which side of the bread has the butter, I'm extremely sorry to say that they took the people of Goa for a ride, took the system, held the system at ransom, and indeed we lost 25 precious lives. And these 25 is a figure of which we got Operation Sindoor also. It is not something that you can just sweep it underneath the carpet. But yes, the Luthra brothers and Ajay Gupta, they seem to be people who have extremely well connected and managed to get what should never have happened in the first place. But they managed to get it. And therefore, to your question, I don't think it has ever happened. And if it happens, well, there are commercial and economic reasons for that.
Yatish Naik, who will account for this? Who will account for this? And do you think that it will ever be brought to light? That who in the administration helped these Luthra brothers? Because as the former DGP, Mr. Vikram Singh, is saying, that they know very well which side of the bread is buttered. And obviously there was someone who was in the know about all of this. Yatish Naik, who takes responsibility?
In Goa, panchayats are part of local self-governance mechanism. Nonetheless, I can tell you after this incident, the director of the panchayat that also I'm telling you as a matter of fact. So I'm telling you that the government is very serious in going to the root of it. This kind of a thing cannot happen. It cannot be taken lightly, and the government has made its mind very clear, and therefore the magisterial inquiry is already in progress.
Magisterial inquiry in progress. Syed Asad Abbas, the government will get to the bottom of the matter. Are you confident that there will be justice?
Would the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, Mr. Naik, say the same to all those victims, 25 people who died and their families? Magisterial process. It's unfortunate, sir. 18 months. The establishment had allegedly been operating illegally without mandatory permissions, and they were on an expired license. As a matter of fact, investigators even said that the license had not been renewed as required since 2024. Despite these lapses, no action was taken by authorities until the fatal fire on December 6th. The fact of the matter, sir, we need to understand that with great power, there's great responsibility and equal accountability. Pramod Sawant, who is hailed as one of the finest chief ministers of Goa, but something like this happens. It's really unfortunate, sir. It does not just Goa. Goa affects us internationally. It's a tourist spot, tourist destination. It is one of the jewels of India. And when 25 people die in one place, it's absolutely not okay. And these so-called Luthra brothers, I think they need to be investigated so well, and also got to know who in the government is helping them acquire these. Like Madhav Saab said, it's unbelievable that in 48 hours they could pull off that miracle. Also, absolutely no sign of remorse from these owners. Absolutely no apology, nothing. This is really catastrophic. This is heartbreaking. To me, it leaves a black spot or hurt that when it comes to Goa, I would say, especially the families who are largely devastated and affected by these.
And I will just say this, that fine, the panchayats may be under local self-governance as they are across the country. No one's disputing that, Mr. Naik. But the question still remains. In Goa, the licensing is not under the police. It's under the state administration. And therefore, those 20-odd permissions which are required, it is all the departments which are under the aegis of the state government. If the state governments can now announce an audit into fire safety norms after this deadly incident, what were they doing all this time? Why were they sleeping? Perhaps some lives could have been saved if they did their work.
No, I can tell you one thing, that we have got our mechanisms in place in the nature of pollution control board. You have the police department, you have the tourism department, and each of these body under the government has got its executing wing. However, they do their periodic checks and the periodic inspections, and all the process goes on. However, having said this, why this particular incident has happened? How did they get permissions? How did they do their business? I mean, all these things have to be found, and that is what Honorable Chief...
Sir, 10 days, what is your government doing? 10 days you cannot find out?
No, please, understand the seriousness of the issue. The permission...
It is very serious. That's exactly why I'm asking you this.
That's what I'm telling you. Please afford me a minute to answer you. If you see the terms of reference to the magisterial inquiry, apart from going into the records, apart from recording statements, apart from procuring all the files from the concerned departments, the documents and all of it, it is a very thorough inquiry, and one of the terms is to fix accountability on the government officers involved. This is in the terms of reference in black ink. So
yeah, but this,
I think,
end of the day, the only problem, Mr. Naik, is that this is not going to bring back those 25 lives which are lost. Governments are there to protect the lives of citizens, and that is the expectation. Let me bring in Kapil Madan. It's a thorough magisterial inquiry. It will ascertain who is responsible and also fix accountability, and we have to wait until then. Kapil Madan, does that answer satisfy you?
Mother, let me begin by saying, whatever is happening now, I have no reason to say that, it is a media trial which wants to, convict Luthra brother without there being a first trial in a court of law. And, allow me to, explain why I say so. I mean, what you've done, admittedly, these individuals are residents of, Delhi. What basically the prosecution and what I hear in the media is that, look, there was some problem in the approvals, etc. And that's the reason why, these people are being, held to be guilty or pronounced to be guilty, at least as per the, what I hear in the media. I just say one thing here. Whenever, you have an incident like this, okay, you will need to first find out the act, what was the proximate reason for that act, and who's the person, with whom's act or omission has, resulted in this, devastating incident, which one way to look at it is an accident only.
Kapil Badan, please, let's not exonerate the Luthra brothers on national television. Are you trying to tell me they have no liability, vicarious or otherwise?
Madhav, allow me to explain further. Now, the political side of it, there is also an uproar that, how they could get, licenses, etc. so quickly. That's the question, which we should legitimately be discussing. But for that, the police does not need, 10 odd days to identify who was the babu responsible, who was the police officer responsible, and which was the licensing agency that gave them the license. You have no name.
There are so many questions from the change of land use, agricultural salt plant land being acquired for this purpose. How is that happening? We don't know. Why is it that they don't have the required permissions, NOCs? We don't know. Why is it that certain licenses have been given at such rocket speed? We don't know. And at the end of the day, if the owners are not accountable, if they are not vicariously held liable, and this is exactly what the Luthra brothers have told the court. I want to get a quick response from Mr. Vikram Singh. Mr. Vikram Singh, Luthra brothers have told the court exactly this. That our managers are the ones running it. We have some 20, 30, I don't know how many restaurants and bars and nightclubs across the country. And therefore, we are based in Delhi, don't hold us accountable. Can they escape liability with these kind of arguments? Vikram Singh.
Certainly not, Madhavji. There is no escape route for both the Luthra brothers and Ajay Gupta, in the sense that they have a vicarious responsibility, they have a fiduciary responsibility, they have a direct responsibility, I dare say, because they were the ones who in fact invested the money, as also the fact they were privy to everything that was happening in the club. By no stretch of imagination can one see that we have distanced ourselves and we are not connected in day-to-day matters of running. But you have cases where the owners have been prosecuted when they were not even physically present in the country. Therefore, to say that mens rea is the central point in any criminal jurisprudence, and when they had the mens rea, what explains the fact that they went underground and they ran away at breakneck speed, that this is an acceptance of
They were so innocent that they ran away to Thailand in just 1.5 hours of the fire. When the fire was not put out, the flames were not out. And here are two people who are the owners who ran away to Thailand thinking that they'll escape responsibility. Times Now has fought for this case. He's fought for those 25 victims. We'll continue to track this story. We've traced down the Luthra brothers in Thailand for you, our viewers, and we will continue to ensure that there is justice in this case. Whether the Luthra brothers or anybody else in the administration or otherwise, we will continue to find out who are responsible, continue to hold the entire administration responsible until this case sees its logical end. Yatish Naik, Vikram Singh, Syed Asad Abbas and Kapil Madan, thanks so much for joining us this evening.